So I got their 3.6 listing. We sold it for 3.5, 30. And then this home, which was listed for 4.85, I was able to get that for them at 4.1. I'm Ruth Darling, and I live in Northwest Arkansas, which is actually a very thriving area. I'm with Keller Williams, and I'm a single agent. I have a showing agent, and I do hand out leads for areas that I don't want to focus on. Was in the title industry for about 18 years, and did a lot of coaching for agents on specifically leveraging their technology for more business. And so it made perfect sense for me. I knew CINC very well since I worked for Fidelity National Financial, and we purchased CINC. And as soon as I got my license a few years ago, immediately I got my CINC platform. I hadn't lived here full time. I didn't have a sphere of influence. And so this was a great platform for me, not just because I knew it, but because I needed online leads. And a spectacular way that CINC brings in buyers that are serious enough to go through 4 pre-qual screens has been a life changer for me in my business. Now, other companies have similar types of activities, but the information gathered at the very beginning when the lead comes in is way higher than anybody else. When we get to know what the disc profile is, and now we know how to speak to the personality of the person we're reaching out to, that's immensely huge. And so there was just nothing that had behavioral messaging, AI, the ability to run your entire business, SOI as well as new leads, from one location, mobile app, at a high level. CINC just provided the best information, speed to lead, and ability to stay ahead of where technology is going the whole time. So I didn't need to look anywhere else, quite honestly. So September, I returned from Keller Williams Mega Agent Camp, and just staying in the routine after you learn a whole lot of things and staying fresh in your lead gen. And in September, AI told me, hey, follow up with this lead. I got 2 alerts. One was agent ready and one was requested with showing. So that was great because both notifications came to me. And that's what I really like is when activity happens, I get noticed, but also notified, but then also AI and those conversations. And as long as I'm on top of those, I'm good. So I looked it up, and it was for a $4.8 million house on the lake, which is great because that's where I live. That's my specialty. And when I reached out to AI, had reached out to the lead as well, and she said, "Oh, I'm not really looking to move. Just interested in seeing what else is on the lake. I already have a lake house." Great. So I call her up, and she says the same thing. "I'm not looking to make a change. I was just looking and was curious about this house." I said, "No worries. That's what my site is for. Let's go see it. We'll just do a 1-day show for one property. That way you get to see it. Now you know what else is out there." So we went and viewed the property for several hours. It's an 8,000 square foot home with a pool on the lake with 2 boat slips. And it's about 15 minutes from Rogers. So quick to the grocery stores, hospital, everything like that. Prime place and spectacular views. So we toured the home, and she said, "Oh, this is really fun. That's great. I'm going to talk to my husband about it. He's going to kill me to think I'm even looking at another house." And I said, "No worries. Let me know what you think and what else I can do to help you." So 2 days later, she called me up and said, "Hey, my husband is in town now and he wants to see it as well." I was out of town. I had the listing agent, who's a great friend and a great real estate agent, show it for me. And another day later, they said, "We want to talk to you about the value of our home. We think we want to buy that house." So we went to their home. We listed it for 3.6. They had a beautiful property, 6,000 square feet, walk, a very short walk, maybe like 20 steps to get to their dock. So prime location. And we proceeded to put their home on the market mid-October while I was actually in Costa Rica. So this was real hurry. This was 3 weeks from the time that I'd showed her the property. So I got their 3.6 listing. We sold it for 3.530. And then this home, which was listed for 4.85, I was able to get that for them at 4.1. And so within 45 days, we had a contract on our home. Now, remind you, this is October market, election year, high luxury level home in this area. And I told him it's going to take 3 months, 6 months. It could take a year. We just don't know what the buyer market is. But obviously, KW Luxury, I was able to market it to all the luxury agents around the world. Had a great buyer, broker open. So all that to say, we were very blessed to get an offer from someone who missed out on another home in that community that is sold recently. It's a private gated community. It's very high demand. So perfect. We closed in 1 day. We written a contract on the 4.8, and then 2 weeks later, we closed on both on the same day, which was December 23rd. So everybody was happy. They got to be in their new home for the holidays. And from that, we've gotten great friendship. And they live pretty close to me by boat. So it's just wonderful. So it added to my sphere of influence, obviously. And she's already given me one referral from it. So we live in the mountain biking capital of the world, in the Ozark Mountains. And Bentonville, Rogers, Walmart Home Office, Tyson's, Purdue, JB Hunt, lots of huge companies here, and 40 people a day are moving to this area. And I'm talking people from Alaska to Florida, from Arizona, North Carolina, New York. It is one of the best places to retire, but also it's one of the best places to be if you enjoy outdoor activities and you like an active lifestyle. We have a lot of technology companies here, and we've got a great growth of young people coming in after college, before college, if they decided to take a year off. And then we have those people that work for these major corporations. And Walmart in particular requires that every company that supplies to them has an executive in an office here. So you can imagine the people that come in are getting to live their best life here. So there's a constant flux of income coming in, and people experiencing all that we have, whether it's the mountain biking, hiking in our state parks, which I live in a state park. I live in Hobbs State Park on Beaver Lake. So I'm up in the woods, but on the lake, and it's quiet up here. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's a wonderful place to live. 20 to 22, a ton of people were moving here, hand over fist. Same type of demand as there is in Dallas. Used to live in Dallas, same type of demand, hand over fist, making money. But of course, I didn't get my license till 22. I'm always showing up a day late to things. But it really wasn't until last summer, when rates were really going up, that we saw a dip. We still have a little bit of a seller's market, not a ton of homes on the market. So our inventory is between, 4 to 5 months. So teetering on that balance scale. But also what we're seeing in the market is price reductions. Probably 80% of the listings have a price reduction at least once. So I think that's just a matter of, we have to educate our sellers on what the true market is, the current buyer market. And buyers are using the excuse, hey, I can only get this much to borrow, or that's all I'm going to pay for it. So if you really have to sell, you've got to think about that and price your home to sell, not to sit. So I think in that way, every market's pretty similar. What's interesting is other cities that have government employees are experiencing a huge cut. I used to live in Washington, D.C. There's a huge cut there, obviously. Um, there'll be more turnover there. But here, there really isn't that dependency. Um, and as long as consumers need something to eat or for their kid or to dress themselves with, Walmart's always going to be a huge factor for our area. Back in 2016 to 20, when I was consulting with top agents and brokers about the CINC platform, it was easy for me because I didn't have one to say, this is what you're going to do. And one of the great benefits was every time someone wanted to get on the platform, we were able to help facilitate getting them to CINC University. I've attended CINC University many, many, many times. It's different when you're the agent. And going there and not missing out on the last afternoon where we really work on scripts and make calls, there's absolutely nothing to lose. And it's as easy as just as being there. You just got to get over it. Everyone has some kind of fear about being rejected or hung up on. Every day, though, I wake up and I go, who is going to be my new friend today? If you think about it, when you go to a clothing store and someone comes in and says, hey, what can I do to help you? What are you looking for? I'm not looking, I'm just browsing. Then you think about, well, maybe I saw something I liked, so I'm putting it on my arm. I found something else. If that salesperson comes back to me and says, hey, can I get you a dressing room? Sure. No pressure, just asking. It looks like you have a need. Let me just ask if you need to try it on. Then by the time I need to change sizes and they're helping me, by the time I walk out and I'm ready to buy something, they're there. They've already established somewhat of a relationship with me and they get the sale. If we think about it that way, how we treat other salespeople, that's going to help you get over the first, I'm just browsing. Because in this business, in this platform, I'm able to say whatever the response is, which is, I'm not looking, I'm not ready to sell. Perfect, that's all right. If you're not looking to buy within a year, this is a great time and you need to be educated about the market. Let's talk about it. And if you were to find your perfect place, what would that look like? And so creating the non-stress conversation always leads me to an appointment, a relationship, or to stay in the top of mind. Yesterday, I had a client call who I hadn't even reached out to yet. She said, hey, I'm coming into town in 2 weeks. I want to see some property. Great. So it helps in all. It's not all on me either. You know, Alex helps, and just the market updates every day and the new listings every day really are very beneficial. And the style, the classiness in which it comes, I think really speaks to people. I can go to my lead dashboard and see for the day who's requested some kind of contact, whether it's validate my home value that they got off my website, or I'm interested in this property. Now we're getting to the real root of things. If you haven't gotten to them yet, or you've attempted calls and you got voicemail or they just don't answer, then this is a great way to go. Behavioral messaging and seeing it on my dashboard instead of me going to look for it helps me with my speed to lead. Just this morning I got, hey, I want more information about this property. Just came on the market for $1. It's on the lake and it's up for auction on a week from Friday. So easily I got the information. Now this person's considering whether they wanted to put a bid on it, but they were, according to the information they gave me, they were looking to buy something in a year. So we get right down to it and we get notified of it immediately. That's my speed to lead. So CINC does the heavy lifting on my part. Well, interestingly, ever since I got my license, I've had other businesses I've been running. And so there was a time where I really wasn't focused on it. So I had reduced my budget during those times when I had my other businesses. But what you miss out on is every other agent is cutting their ad budget. Every other agent is cutting off their CRM, whatever it is that they're relying on. So if you're in it, you're creating your future database to keep going and keep you fed. no matter the market. And the buyer seller objections are fairly easy to overcome. My first house was 13% interest rate, but if we look at what's the monthly dollar amount that's changing between 6.85 and 5.85, it's, you have more to deduct on your taxes that way. Let's just talk about it that way, let alone what's the monthly change. Buyers are looking for a monthly price. So I made a mistake when I temporarily paused my CINC ads, and I just don't do that anymore. It just says, for me, my leads are honestly $5 or less, and I can afford it, and it's what's given me 98% of my business. So I'm staying with it, and then when other people are falling out, I'll be the one that's been top of mind the whole time. Well, I would just encourage each person that investigates CINC, really remember that this is an investment in your downline, in your future. These people that have been in my platform for 3 years now, calling me up, timing is everything. And if you're the one that stays in front of them, they're going to call you. It's a true investment in your business. It is a business expense, but it is not a general expense that you should get rid of. Whatever is feeding your business and whatever isn't, even if you have a great sphere of influence, there are going to be limited referrals each year from that sphere. You need to fill it in with other opportunities. I used to draw a martini glass and say in a chocolate martini, you've got espresso, Starbucks espresso liqueur, Godiva, you've got regular vodka, you've got whipped cream vodka, and a little maybe Grand Marnier. But it takes all of those to create a chocolate espresso martini. You've got to have those different legs of sources of business to really fulfill and keep your business affluent through every type of property, through every season. I would just encourage anybody to really consider this. It's more than paid off for me. If people want to reach out to me, I'm happy to talk about it, share other secrets and tips that I have. I'm Darling Homes, NWA, for Northwest Arkansas. Whether that's my social, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. And also my website is Darling Homes, NWA, which goes straight to my CINC site, which is very powerful. So happy to talk to anybody anytime. My cell phone is 214-551-2416. So give me a call, a text, or reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions.